First, knead the clay. I should have spent more time on this. The clay would have come out smoother. I recommend dividing the clay into halves and kneading each piece separately. Then combine the pieces together. I molded it into a hot dog bun shape and rolled it from there. Roll it to about 1/4 inch thick, and from there, trim it to size. Next, take the bottle you are molding around and wrap the clay around it by rolling as you wrap. Trim the ends if they overlap. I didn't do this, but it would have been easier had I. Roll up a long skinny piece of clay the size of a toothpick and press this into the seam. Now smooth this piece with wet fingers. Keep dipping your fingers into water and continue smoothing the seams. Your ribbed liner has different grooves on each side. So press each side into the clay to decide which side you want to imprint onto your clay planter. Place the liner onto your table and place the clay with the bottle onto the liner. Now press the liner into the clay to get the ribbed texture to transfer. Check to see if the texture has come through and looks consistent throughout the planter. Keep pressing the liner into the clay if it hasn't fully taken in the grooves. You don't want any clay on the bottom right now, so make sure it's an open cylinder. Let the clay harden before making the bottom. This will need about 2 days to cure, but you can use a space heater to speed up the curing time. Place the planter about 8 to 12 inches away from the heater and turn it every so often. The clay can crack if heated too quickly, so keep an eye on it. To make the bottom, first knead the clay to warm it up. Then roll it out into a circle. You can use a sheet of wax paper on top to help keep the clay from sticking to the roller. Roll it to about 1/4 inch thick, and from there, cut out the circle. You can trace the bottle you are using for the mold and cut it out. I happen to have a bottle that I had already cut, and so I used this like a cookie cutter. You'll want to slide the clay down a bit to create a recess. Then place a circle on top. Now push the bottle through the clay so that it meets the bottom piece of clay and lies flat. Wet your fingers to seam it together lightly for now. You'll do the main sealing inside in a minute. If your clay planter is sticking to the bottle, use a flexible paint knife to carefully loosen it. Take care to not pull the clay. Just slide the knife to create a separation between the bottle and the clay. Now roll out a little bit of clay into a long skinny piece. This is called a slip, and this is what will be used to join the pieces together. Trim it so it fits around the inside bottom. Go ahead and dip it into the water and then carefully press it into the inside seams. Depending on what height you made the planter, you may not be able to reach the bottom with your fingers. I used a clay sculpting joiner to press the slip into the seams, but you can use something like the eraser head of a pencil. Now create a hole in the center for the planter's drainage. Check that the outside bottom is seamed properly and let this cure for a couple of days.